Welcome, welcome. Let's make sure we have volume shut off over here so we're not going nuts with voices flying from all over the place. So I wanted to let you guys know that it is Labor Day. Not that you guys didn't already know that, but I hope you guys have had a wonderful 3-day weekend. It is just one of those best things. And a lot of the kids are getting ready to go back to school this week, if your kids have not already started. I know up in the Great Northwest, when we used to live there, Labor Day weekend was kind of like the big hurrah before kids went back to school. Now, here in Arizona, our kids have already started school back in August. Like, it was the first week of August that kids went back to school here. My kids are, well, I only have one that is still in school, but we homeschool. So I don't really have to worry about a school schedule because I can make it my own schedule. And that's what works for us. I'm just trying to get us brought up over here and make sure all is well in Facebook and YouTube. It looks like YouTube is running well, and it looks like you guys here on Facebook. Let me get flipped over there. It does look like we are live here as well. I see Anna in Facebook land. Let me see. I might need to go to, okay, that's what I was doing wrong. I was clicking my group and not my actual Facebook page. Goofy me. All right, there. It looks like we are, yeah, we're live. Nice. I like it. And why does it look like my camera is funky? Oh, I don't know. Why does it show me in reels? I said to go live, not in a reel. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. Anna, does it look funny for you, or is it just me trying to click on this that it's showing me that I am in a reel? Shouldn't be, but I don't know. So our weekend was pretty eventful. We did our local Tucson Comic-Con and we had a blast. We did so well at the Comic-Con. It was busy, really busy. And maybe it was because it was Labor Day weekend, not sure. Last year we did pretty good, but not like we did this year. This year it was crazy busy. But they did open up a different room that they normally don't open, and that's where they put us this year. And it was wonderful because they had also opened up a new entrance, and that entrance was right kind of by our booth. Like, our booth was kind of in the corner, and then the door was like right up over here, so people could just walk in. So we were like one of the first booths that they saw when they walked in. And my tumblers, you guys know how I had showed pictures of the tumblers that I have. I only have 6 left. They sold like hotcakes. And I was so surprised that there were not too many vendors there selling them. So let me grab one so I can show it to you guys really quick in case you didn't see any of these. So actually, let me grab a couple of them that I still have left. So this one here is a, this is my, what do you call those? The name brand of, like, there's Coco Chanel, there is Louis Vuitton, Gucci. It's got, I put the little chocolates in the top, like, of the glass crystals. You can see the little chocolates that I had decorated the lid with on this one. And it's full of glitter in the inside. So I'm showing YouTube as well, or Facebook as well. So just if you see it go out of frame, it's because I'm showing the other camera. So yeah, this is such a gorgeous cup. So this is one that I was deciding that if this one didn't sell, I would keep it for myself, because I was kind of going back and forth on which cups I wanted to keep for myself and which ones I wanted to sell, because honestly, I would keep them all if I could, but I knew I had to sell them. So here's another one that I have. This one is the ocean theme. And then I've done the top with the seashells. So this one has like the sea foam on the top when you shake it. And then you've got the beautiful, I'm not sure if you can see the glitters in that, with the sand. And then it's got the fun little beach theme on the front. And then there's the lid with all the seashells. I should have made more of the blood drip because those were the first ones that sold out. They had a whole bunch of horror characters on the front of them, and those ones sold instantly. Like as soon as people walked in the door, boom, those were the ones that they bought. Now it does look like it has like a honey drip inside of it, but it's like this goopy blood that drains down like the side of the cup. So if you were looking at the cup, as soon as you like flip it over and flip it back, instead of like the sand dripping, it would be the blood drip, which is a pretty much this fluid that you put inside of the cup. It's a mixture of glycerin and a what's the other thing you put in there? Oh, the Elmer's magical glue is the other thing that you mix in there. So when you tip that over, it like slowly goos down like the side of the cup, and they are fantastic. So those ones we call our blood drips, or the true crime, because depending on what kind of decal you put on the front, it's kind of a crime scene because the blood is there. And then I put the super cute little knives that you can get. You resin those to the top, in the top of those little crystals. Oh, just people were just going and gawing over him. It was so crazy. My son was like, Mom, those things were like selling like crack around here. I was like, what in the world? He goes, yeah. He goes, everybody who walked by had to stop and pick up one of those cups and look at it. So, so the first day, like it was my cups that were selling like crazy. Then the second day, which was Saturday, Saturday is typically always busier because people are not at work and there's just a lot more going on. And again, because it was Labor Day weekend, people were trying to find things to do before, you know, kind of the end of summer kind of thing. So Saturday, it was crazy busy. So Andre got there at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I think it opened at either 9:30 or 10. And he said instantly there were just like floods of people coming in. He sold so many of his Legos. And the other plus about where we were at is where we had all the celebrities in that same little area that we were at. So we could literally sit there and see Estrada. What's his first name? Eric Estrada. He was right across from us. One of the guys that's my husband's friend, he dresses up every year as the Grinch. He actually went over to Eric Estrada, and typically you have to pay money if you want to get a photo done with these people. But Eric Estrada was such a humble human being. Like, he was amazing. He was like, hey, because our friend, he was like, I'll be back in just a little bit and I'll come get my picture done with you because I have to go get some money from the wife. Well, Eric Estrada was like, well, do you have your phone with you? And he was like, yeah, it's in my pocket. And Eric Estrada was like, well, then pull your phone out. Let's just do a photo right now. I don't need any money. And I was like, what in the world? Like, how cool is that? I mean, I was just kind of heartfelt about his nonchalant, like, hey, let's get a picture. You're here now. Let's do it. So I was pretty impressed with that. The little girl from the new Jurassic World, you guys know that we went and saw that. I think it was the Jurassic Park Evolution, I think is the new one. The little girl, they actually just moved here from Texas to Tucson. So she was there. She couldn't be there on Friday, so we didn't get to let Caden, my daughter, meet her, which we really wanted to do that, but she had school. The little girl did. And so on Saturday, Andre went and got a picture done with her, which I thought was really cool. She was kind of saying that, you know, the reason why she wasn't here the prior day. And she was telling him how she really loved the Lego. They created a little, which we had bought the same day that we went and saw the movie. There's a little dinosaur and it's called Dolores. I think my husband actually put a picture of it, an actual video of it over on TikTok. of him snapping photos of it and took a little video of the dinosaur Dolores, which is just the cutest little thing for my daughter. Hello, Kim. So yeah, just one of those really cool things. It was a really fun weekend. I was there on Friday. Because it wasn't so busy, I helped get everything set up. And then as people started coming in on Friday, it was just a lot because there was all like 5 of us there in our booth. And it was just too many of us that customers couldn't come in and see things. So me and Caden came home. The kids stayed there and ran the booth. And Andre had to go upstairs because he runs a couple of games that he teaches. So he was busy doing that. So all in all, it was a fantastic time. Yesterday, they did really good in sales as well. Normally, Sunday's a very, very slow day, but they did really good yesterday as well. Andre found some pretty good deals. He actually, now you guys on Facebook are not going to be able to see this. So if you want to see my shirt that I had printed and made for me, let me see if I can get back without tripping over my chair here. You'll have to watch the replay over on YouTube because that's where I'm showing this. It says, support your local killers. Not sure if you guys can see that. I'm not tall enough. I'm up on my tippy toes and I'm back as far as I can go. But I had to have this shirt made for me because it has all my little horror characters on there and they're little kids and they were just so cute that I couldn't resist. So I had to get that. Alrighty, okay, enough about what's going on here. Besides the fact that I have fantastic news for you, our catalog and our online exclusives start tonight at midnight Mountain Time. Whoop, whoop, can I get a whoop, whoop? Yeah, super exciting. Like, I can't wait for you guys to see the new online exclusives products that are dropping tomorrow. I'm gonna actually show you a couple of things that I have. I have another order that's supposed to be here on Thursday, and of course shipping got kind of messed up because of today, Labor Day. So now it got delayed a little bit. Other than that, I'm going to get right into what is going on here. I'm going to flip you guys around here on YouTube so you guys are facing my desk. Super cute cards that I'm going to share with you guys tonight. It's also a set that is inside of our catalog. Now you guys know that I can't show you the inside of the catalog, but I will let you know that it is on, I should have had this marked. It is on page number 49 in your mini catalog, your holiday mini catalog. So it is on page 49 if you're looking, if you want to see the set that I am using. Now, those of you that are current customers with me, you should already have your catalog in your hot little hand. And if you do not, you please need to reach out to me and let me know and I can drop that in the mail ASAP, because since our sale starts tomorrow with that and it goes live, you surely want to know what is going to be put out there for you guys to place your orders with. Now, with the online exclusives, I am going to be posting there is a PDF that looks like this, and there is a QR code that you guys can scan if you want to print this out. It is going to be over on my blog tonight, and it's going to show you guys all the new product that is coming out for our online exclusives. If you want to be able to have that in your hands so you can flip through and look at it. So, then you kind of know and you can check things off as you purchase them, cross things out if there's things that you don't want, just so you're not trying to flip through like on the website, trying to go through things, and sometimes that's a little bit difficult to do. It's kind of nice to just have this in your hands, or you can just download it to your device and have it that you can look through on that as well. But just to let you know, this will be available on my blog midnight tonight when I can post that. And then, like I was saying, so today, page number 49 is what we're going to be playing with. It will be available tonight at midnight for you guys to purchase if you want to place your orders early, so then you're not waiting or getting any kind of delayed shipping or anything like that, because when people start, pushing those orders out, it is going to delay shipping as well, because, they can only do the process as fast as they can. So I'm going to be using the Fluffy Squirrel stamp set along with the punch. So it is called the Fluffy Squirrel. Oops, it helps if I take it out of this little bag, right? This is the Fluffy Squirrel Builder Punch. and the Fluffy Squirrel stamp set. So just so you guys can see, again, I said that was on page number 49. We're going to make some super fun cards tonight using that set. So why don't we get you guys flipped around over here on YouTube so you guys can look at my desk along with you guys here on Facebook, and we're going to talk about some fun things that are happening here in, getting ready to happen here in Stampin' Up! Land. If you guys haven't already heard about some of the news, I will share it with you guys. So I think that looks okay. Can you guys see that pretty good here on Facebook? I mean, not Facebook, YouTube. I know Facebook can see it pretty good. Yep, okay, that looks pretty good. No thanks. I don't want that household plan. I think I'm gonna move this way just a skosh though. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, so for right now through September 10th, so you've still got 10 more days, or 9 more days actually, to grab the Fall for Twall. Now that word really threw me off. I thought it said toil. I mean, when I looked at it, I did not know how to pronounce that word. So I've been saying this word all wrong, and I'm sure you guys were probably sitting there going, oh my God, girl, figure it out. That is twall. So Fall for Twall is that word. This is going to be one of those fall kits that you're going to definitely want to have for your upcoming fall cards that you want to make and send out to people, whether you're having a gathering and you want to invite people over during the wonderful season. This is just going to be a great set. You've got the matching cards in there, or envelopes in there. It does say that this is going to be design elegant cards with metallic foil and rich autumnal imagery. It's going to make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, metallic foil details and grosgrain ribbon trim, pre-cut paper pieces and printed sentiment labels. Coordinating colors are Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Darling Duckling, the Early Espresso, Pecan Pie, and Timid Tiger. So all those fantastic fall colors that you would be using anyways in your fall cards. So that's going to be what coordinates with this. It does coordinate with the Fall Twall Sweet Collection. Now, you will find that Sweet Collection in our online exclusive that will be starting tomorrow. You had never heard that word before? I know, me either, Kim. That's why I thought it said toil. But then I thought, wait a minute, there's an E at the end. So I actually, this is how geeky I am. I was like, okay, that word's kind of screwing with me. So I Googled it and I typed it in and I said, pronounce T-O-I-L-E for me. And it was like, twall. I was like, what in the world? I've never heard that word. Like, what is that word? Twall? That sounds made up in my mind. So I actually had to make myself a note, and I'm going to show you guys right here. I made myself a note and I spelled it T-W-A-L-E, but I had to put that the A sounds short. Twall. Huh. Okay, well, that's how much of a nerd I am, because I didn't want to give you guys false information and make myself look like an idiot on here, which I do pretty often, but that's okay. You guys forgive me, right? So that is this. I did order the autumn trees. That will be here. Like I said, I think it said Thursday that it's supposed to be here. I did already get the beautiful little embellishments. Now these are called the Cajun Craze and Gold Dots. They do have this wonderful little, not sure if you can see inside of there. There's little gold flakes inside of them, and they're just beautiful. And they are that Cajun Craze color, so they really match well with things. Now the paper, this is the paper that is in the, what was this collection called again? The Autumn Twall. This paper, you get 12 sheets. I think it's 4 of each, because I think it's 4. I don't know. We'll have to look here. So there's 1, 2, 3. So maybe there's 4 designs. Is there 4 designs? Yep, 4 designs. You get 3 of each. So here is the first one with the trees and the little deer. And then this is the back side of it. Okay, there's that one. So you get 3 of each one of these. Then you have this really pretty, like, what are these birds? Not pigeons. People hunt them. Oh my gosh, I can't think right now. My brain is like, my brain is mush. We've had also, we had the Comic-Con go on. So on Friday night, I come home and I get Caden like unloaded out of the car, whatever. Saturday, I go over to talk to my mom because I knew she was going out of town this whole week. I walk in her house and I'm like, wow, it is super hot in their house. Well, they didn't really realize that it was that hot in there. She comes out and she goes, God, she goes, I thought it was just me having a hot flash. And I go, no, it's really hot in here. Their air conditioning took a crap. Well, it's Labor Day weekend. Most places are closed. So they had to have an emergency company come out. And of course, they didn't have the part that was broken. It has to be ordered. And therefore, we all know there's no shipping on the holiday weekend. So they have to wait until Tuesday to have their AC fixed. So that sucks. So he had to run down to, my dad ran down to Lowe's and got a couple of AC units. We had a couple of AC units just in our shed as backup because you have to have that around here. And so they've been kind of just running with the AC units hooked up in the house for the time being. And it's working. But yeah, it was just crazy. She's like, yeah, right before I'm going to leave. So my mom went, she actually just called me right before I went live and let me know that she made it. She's up in Flagstaff for the week, having just a little, you know, day or a little week to herself. She's got some friends up there that she's going to see. This is the other paper. And then, I know I'm being very squirrel. Sorry, you guys. And then look at these fox. And that color is just gorgeous. And the back side is this. So I like this. I like that they gave us 4 designs with 3 each. I really love this paper. I'm glad they did it that way. So just so you now know what that paper looks like. Okay, and then we're going to move on, if I get the right thing. Don't forget that we do have our coordinating add-on that goes with our paper pumpkins for the quarter. This is called the Circle of Season. And we do have that fabulous little circle in there. Mystery stamping, I have set that the supply list will go out on the 13th. I have already made the event for this over in my private Facebook group, Pink Barn Stamper group. You will find the image there telling you when it's going to be. There's also links that'll take you over to my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. When you click the mystery stamping, it will take you in there so you can see what mystery stamping is all about. We will do the actual live class on Facebook on the 20th. So make sure you mark your calendar for that. And then I will draw the winner on the 27th. So just so you know, that's going to be, or wait a minute. I'm in my August calendar. I was like, wait a minute, those dates do not sound right to me. Hold on. Let me give you guys the actual real dates. I was just seeing who was paying attention. Yeah, right. So it will actually take place on the 17th. So mark your calendar for the 17th is when I will be live for our monthly mystery stamping. The supply list out on the 10th of September, and then I will draw the winner on the 24th of September. Sorry, you guys. We have World Card Making Day coming up. So if you have any of your family and friends who are always asking you, geez, how do you get started with your card making? How do you get the inspiration? Where did you start? World Card Making Day is one of those fantastic free events for anybody that they can come in and they can join for this. Now they do need to register from September 3rd through October 3rd is the registration for this free event. They will get a link and that will let them in there. It's one of those good, cool things that if you like to entertain people and you want to have people come over to your home, you can register for this. You can put it up on the big screen and everybody can kind of sit there and watch it together. Then you can show them that, hey, this is how you get started. This is what I am so passionate about. This is why I love card making, is because events like this, and because they share with you the kit that is actually going to be used for this. You will be able to purchase the kit starting September 3rd. It is the Homemade and Heartfelt Kit, which will be, like I said, available September 3rd. Wait a minute. Am I telling you guys tomorrow that, okay, so I lied. You guys will be able to shop on September 3rd, which is Wednesday, which is really weird because normally Stampin' Up always does things on a Tuesday. So I'm kind of baffled that they waited till the 3rd. So, okay. So my excitement still for you guys to be able to shop is on Wednesday, not tomorrow. Sorry, I blew that one for you guys. I am a day early. I was thinking you guys got to shop tonight, but it's actually tomorrow night at midnight that you guys can go in and shop for the 3rd. So you guys are probably all yelling at me going, wait a minute, everybody else is saying that we can shop on the 3rd. Why are you telling us we can shop on the 2nd? Because I just lied to you guys. Okay, I didn't lie. I made an honest mistake. Let's just correct that right now. So you guys can shop on September 3rd in the new catalog and in the online exclusive products. Like I said, it will be on September 3rd, Wednesday, that you can shop starting at midnight Mountain Standard Time. And you can also go in and register for the World Card Making event. And again, don't forget to have the Handmade and Heartfelt Kit ordered for yourself. So when we go to have this event on October 4th, you will have that kit in your hands so you can follow along and make the cards that they are going to be sharing with you. The other thing that I do want to discuss with you guys, if you guys haven't already heard, which I'm sure a lot of you probably have from other demonstrators, that Stampin' Up! Has made the decision to stop the production of red rubber stamps. Now, I know this upset a lot of people. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion about it. I'm not really that hurt. Only because the fact that I love red rubber, because I can see through my stamps. I can line them up so much easier. I am just a fan of the clear stamps. And I really loved it when Stampin' Up! Had decided to start the photopolymer stamps. It just kind of really simplified my life. I do have, the thing that you can line it up with, the stamp apparatus, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to have to pull that out every time I want to line something up. I just don't. So having the photopolymer is a win for me. So now that they have decided to do away with red rubber and do the photopolymer exclusive, I'm cool with that. That being said, it's also they have also made the decision to stop making the Stampin' Write markers. Now, I know, again, a lot of people were upset about this. They did notice that the sales of the Stampin' Write pins did decrease quite a bit when they came out with the alcohol blends, because let's be honest, the alcohol blends just give you a much better image when you're coloring. It blends so much better. You get much more dimension in your coloring. I'm not a fan of the Stampin' Write pens, just giving you my honest opinion. And they know that most people use the Stampin' Write on red rubber. Well, if they're not going to carry red rubber, they're going to see a major decrease in sales on the Stampin' Write. So they have made the decision to stop making these. So I believe these are in our last chance product sale right now. They're only as supplies last. They're going to be doing away with them. Just so you're aware of that. The other thing that I know I'm dropping a lot on you guys today, but it is what it is, and it's better that you know ahead of time than not. So I'm not going to try to gatekeep and all that kind of stuff. So they are also changing the packaging of the way our stamps are coming. Again, coming with the photopolymer. The stamps are a lot thinner, and they normally just come on one of these little sheets, and obviously I've put them on my case. They are going to be discontinuing the way that they package our photopolymer stamps. They're not going to come in these cases anymore. Now, I will let you know, they will still keep selling the clear DVD cases, whatever cases you want to call these. They will continue selling these. They just will no longer be putting our stamps in these and shipping them to us like this anymore. Now, this is going to happen over a gradual time. Same with the photopolymer. We have an annual catalog that goes through May of next year. Photopolymer stamps will stay in there. Red rubber stamps will stay in there through the life of that catalog. That catalog will probably be the last catalog that until it gets completely turned over with red rubber, with the red rubber being gone. That's probably the last publication that you'll see any red rubber in. Now, they might actually do it with the January catalog. You may not see them in there, but I know as far as being able to buy anything, it will be through that May annual catalog. Oh, excuse me. But as I was saying about the photopolymer, they are going to start coming in the envelopes, the clear little envelopes, just like our dies come in. Now, that being said, this is going to cut down on space significantly, and I am all for that. Again, I've heard some very, very negative things said about it, and I just don't understand what people are on about, but whatever. I mean, we have so many amazing demonstrators that they are going to come out with a system that is going to be life-changing for so many of us. I do know that one of the biggest things is people are so upset that you won't be able to see. As you can see on the side of this, there's nowhere to put a picture of what the stamps look like. Okay, cool, I get it. But there's always workarounds. So when your stamp set comes, it's going to come, they're going to be photopolymer. They're going to come in the little envelopes like this. Now, the envelope size will be changing. They're going to be like a 9.5 by, I think they said it's like 5 and something. I don't remember the exact dimensions, but I have my dies already stored in this little like gray tote thing that I got quite a few of these off of Amazon. And I just put them in here like this. This is how I keep my, embossing folders. It's how I keep my dies in here. So, you know, I already kind of been going that route anyways. So I don't feel like it's going to be that much different when my stamps are like that. Besides the fact that I have a IKEA bookshelf over here, a Billy bookshelf, that is full of stamp sets. Now, when they are going to be this thin, you can see, you can fit about 5 or 6 of these little envelopes down to the size of this. So you can only imagine how many stamp sets. Well, I mean, it is going to be a little bit thicker because dies are way thinner than what a stamp set is, but you get my drift. That you're going to be able to fit so much more when it comes to spacing. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to come out with a system. My husband told me I need to do it because I already had the brain thought of it. And I go, nope, I don't have the time for all that. But people are probably going to come out with the little tabs that you can stick on here or stick on the top, depending on if you're going to put them vertical and you're going to thumb through them, put them in alphabetical order. I don't know. However it works for you, you'll figure it out. I have confidence. Well, there you go, Kim. You can't see the images anyways. Absolutely. Like, I don't see the big deal about it. I don't see why so many people are upset about it, but whatever. I mean, everybody's got their niche and that's just their thing. Personally, I'm kind of cool with it. But then again, I also see it from a business aspect that They have got to do the smartest thing for them. We are forever evolving in this world that they have to keep up with the price, gouging that's going on. Everything that is happening in this world that is changing prices for companies, they've got to do what's going to be the most economic for them. And sometimes if that upsets some people, well, then, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, to be honest with you. So the other thing that I did want to mention is now the dies. So you know that normally our dies come slid inside just like that. They are now going to come with the full images, kind of like how we see the images on the little sheet that comes in our stamp case. You're going to now have an image put on here that you can see what your dies are now. So that's pretty cool. So again, some things are going to change, but you'll get over it. I mean, honestly, you're gonna figure it out just the way it is. So don't get all upset. Don't get freaked out thinking that life is over, crafting, you're just gonna throw the towel in. Don't be like that. Like, put a smile on and just move forward. That's the way I kind of have to think about it, that what is getting upset going to do for you? It's probably going to, make you miserable. And who wants to live like that? Like myself, I don't. So, I mean, I kind of drive my husband a little bit crazy because I always see things from the positive aspect. And he's kind of the opposite. He's always like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if it does? Like there's nothing you can do about it. So I would rather see it as, if it happens, it's going to happen and we're going to just work through it. So that's my thought on things. So if I'm a little bit cuckoo, then so be it. But just wanted to throw that out for you guys. So now you know. If you didn't know, you know now. And so I wasn't keeping anything from anybody. And I waited as long as possible to let everybody know. And it is what it is. All right. So let's get down to our monthly winner for our August customer. We have Miss Bonnie Bletchell. She is the winner of our monthly customer winner. So she is going to be getting the Dance With Me stamp set. This is a photopolymer stamp set here. And I have also decided to give you a Expressions in Ink ephemera pack. So that will go perfectly together. So that will go out in the mail this week, Miss Bonnie. So please watch for that. The way that works is whenever you place an order with me in the month, I put everybody's name in there. Now, the more orders that you do, which Bonnie, she orders a lot. So the more times you order, the more times you get entered into that drawing. So just to let you guys know that that's the way that works. So every order is an entry. I even put the paper pumpkin people in that as well, just so you're aware of that every order, it doesn't matter the size, they get put in that drawing. Okay, so let me, let's get into these cards. I'll show you a couple of things along the way as we're going here. So this is our kit for the week. So when you shop with me this week and your order is $35 or more, you're going to get a kit in the mail that looks like this. It's going to come with your each individual cards into each individual envelope. It will come with PDFs that tell you exactly how to create these cards. But just know that you can always come back and rewatch this video. Now I do know that Facebook only keeps your videos for 30 days and then it's deleted. But just know that you can always go to YouTube and watch my videos there as well, because they don't delete them. So I always make sure I put stuff over there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our first card here. So I'm just going to tell you guys kind of what I'm working with and the dimensions that we've got going on here. I am using 2 other items or products with these cards. So just know that you will need to have the Fluffy Squirrel stamp set along with the Fluffy Squirrel, this is called the Builder Punch, in order to make these cards exactly as I am. I will include your die cut pieces, but I am using the Nested Essentials dies and the Stylish Shapes dies for these cards. But anything that needs to be cut, I'll already have it cut for you. Okay, so for this card, I am using Cajun Craze as my base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So we're just going to go ahead and fold this. Oops, I've got all my little tumblers sitting here. I want to move those so they don't get knocked over. I made myself an iced coffee before I went live today, and I was like, geez, I should have used my cute little cup that I made. Where is my bone folder? I swear, I need to invest in probably 6 bone folders because for some reason it is my most misplaced item. Maybe I put it in my bag over here when I was making things in the house this weekend, but I don't see it in there. Well, you know what? We are going to, I'm going to show you guys a little trick that when I can't find my bone folder, and this happens frequently to me, I use a block and I just use it like that. There is my way of getting around not being able to find my bone folder. But it'll pop up. It always does. I always wind up finding it later on when I don't need it, but we'll go with what it is. All right, then I am using a piece of the gingham paper. This is from our Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. Now this is going to measure 2.25 by 5.25. This is going to just get layered right onto our card like so. Now I gotta look at my already made card so I make sure I get this done correctly. Then I'm going to need 2 pieces. These are also Cajun Craze. These are 1.5 by 4.25. So you need 2 of those. I also need a scrap of my basic beige. I need a scrap of crumb cake. And then some basic white scrap as well that we'll do some stamping on. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to use these 2 pieces here. I am going to use it looks like it's got little hex marks on it. This little background piece here, I'm going to be using that stamp. Let me move all my other stuff out of the way here. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Linda. Hello, Kay. Welcome, you guys. Hello, Cheryl. Okay, so we're going to use that, and I'm going to actually grab my Cajun Craze stamp set here. Or, not stamp set, but ink pad. And I'm going to use, even though, and so me telling you guys about the photopolymer, you're going to now need to have something. So as you guys can see here, I actually have this really, really old foam piece that I think I got at like Crafter's Warehouse a long, long time ago, when we still lived in Oregon. But this is the same size as my grid paper here. So I just lay that on there. But that is now going to be on my desk because knowing that photopolymer needs to have the cushion underneath it. I also purchased some of the piercing mats that we sell through Stampin' Up. These work great. I just cover it with tape and a piece of scratch paper, and I can just take this on the fly with me. But for my desk, this one will stay here. And then I can just use my the cushion that I have here with my grid paper, and then I don't have to worry about making a mess everywhere either. So now I'm just going to take this little hex stamp, and I'm just kind of placing this over this paper here. Like that, and then I will come and do the sides. Now I'm not really lining anything up. This is going to be a background, so you're really not going to be able to see if anything's messed up or not lined up or anything like that. Okay, so that one's good. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna flip this the other way this time, and I'm just going to go this way. If you want to be picky and you want to, or precise, then you can come in here and get down there and really watch and make sure you get it spot on. But like I said, I'm not going to stress that hard about it. Just fill in a few of those little spaces. Voila. Okay, we're gonna close this up and kind of give that just a little bit of a shake to make sure that dries off. So it almost looks like we might get some rain tonight too. They did say our chances of rain all week are very high. So hey, I'll take it. I like the rain. My plants like the rain more than anything. And my water bill likes the rain. Okay, I'm gonna place that with about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Oh, well, maybe we'll go over a little bit more. Let's go, yeah, that's probably more, about 3/4 of an inch over here with that piece. I'm now going to use my dimensionals. Not those ones. I need the regular ones. Okay, flip these over. And we're going to go like this, like that, and like that for the first one. Hello, Linda. How is your arm healing? Linda let us know a couple weeks ago she broke her arm, which is definitely putting a kink in her crafting ability right now. Okay, so that piece is going to go kind of on a slant, so I'm making sure that I brought it all the way out to the right hand edge, and then this is just barely kind of overlapping that designer series paper. I was just thinking maybe I want to bring that in just a little bit more. Let me see if this will let me do it without ruining anything. Okay, I'm going to actually line it up right to the edge of that designer series paper. I like that better. Okay, then I'm gonna bring these ones in and let's see how far over. Okay, I could probably put one just a bit over here because it is gonna overlap the bottom of this one. Okay, so doing the same thing, I'm going to have this side touch this side, this corner over here, but I'm going to go down just a bit past this one, so closer towards the bottom, and then I'm going to have this one just kind of swing out just a little bit. So I just have a little bit of off kilter there, I guess you would say, where it's not lined up at the top. It's not perfectly across. They're a little bit off measurement there. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. We are going to come in with our large banner here for the nested essentials. So I need that. I'm going to move this. I'm going to bring in my mini. So I'm going to try to use all of my dies today. I'm going to try to use them in the mini. And then the squirrel has a punch, so we don't have to worry about any of that. So let's bring these in. I'm gonna move that back just a bit. I think you guys can see that there. Using my white scrap, I'm going to use the largest banner from the Nested Essentials. Place that in there, and we're gonna run that through without wiggling the heck out of the desk and making you guys dizzy. Okay, there's that. All right, then we need, with our basic beige, I'm going to use the smallest circle from my not smallest, it's the second from smallest, the Stylish Shapes. I don't know why I can't remember that. I mean, this set has been so well loved. Why I forget the name of it, who knows? It's just one of those things that my brain, it just doesn't stick. I don't know. I have certain words that are like that too. Like, I normally don't have a big problem with spelling, but there's certain words that just do not make sense in my brain, and I always have to look on how to spell it. And it's stupid. They're stupid words that I should, you know, basic vocabulary, grammar, you would know how to spell it, but my brain just doesn't. I think I might have a little bit of, what is it called, like dyslexia or something like that. I don't need a label for it, but I just know that my brain doesn't always compute things. Maybe it's just age. I don't know, but I've struggled with it my whole life. Just like my left and my right. I have the biggest problem where I have to literally stop and either look at where I have my watch or like envision myself like driving a stick shift, that I have to know that's where my right hand is. I know these are my horrible flaws that I'm sharing with you guys, but it's just something that I struggle with. And you know, I've always kind of gotten picked on about it because they're like, hey, she doesn't know her left from her right. Well, you're right. I kind of don't. I have to stop and I have to think about, you know, this is my right, this is my left. They always told you to, you know, use the L is wrong, the L is right. That means it's yeah, that doesn't always work with my brain as well. But I don't know. I've made it through life this long, so I guess I shouldn't complain. All right, now that we have this done, we are going to stamp. I need the little tree trunk, and I also need my squirrel. We're going to use, which squirrel are we going to use? We're going to use the squirrel that matches the punch. So you've got two different squirrels here. They each face a different direction. So if you look at your punch here, you can see that this squirrel, I think it's this squirrel that actually lines up with that. So you've got one squirrel that's going to line up. It's kind of got the bigger, wider tail that's going to fit in there. And then you've got the other little squirrel right here, which is the one that I'm going to use that does not fit in the punch. As you can see, when he is down there, he faces the wrong way. You might mirror it, but even if you were to flip this over, he's not going to match up in this punch. You're going to either cut off his ears, you're going to cut off part of his tail, or it's going to be too big. So just to let you guys know that there are two different squirrels here. So I also need his solid body part. So you've got an outline squirrel, and then you've got a more detailed body for the color of him. So I'm going to use my Memento black ink here for my squirrel, the outline. Going to stamp that first. Then I'm going to grab pecan pie. You can use any of your, you could use crumb cake, you could use, what's the other one? Pecan, you could use early espresso. You could even use Cajun Craze to stamp your squirrel. You can pick what you want that to look like. Okay, I am going to come back in with I do need early espresso though. So I might as well bring that over here. I have my pecan pie. Now my pecan pie is for my solid squirrel. So I'm going to bring this over here and I'm going to try to line this up as best as I can without sticking my head in the camera. Okay, just like so. Oh, that worked out perfect. Okay, so we are done with that for the moment. I'm also going to be using my, this is our blender pen. I'm going to use that as well. Let's move our squirrel out of the way. Pecan, I need to use the early espresso right now. So with early espresso, I'm just going to stamp this tree trunk. And I think I'm going to use my, I think I'm going to use crumb cake to color that in. All right, so now let me grab this and I'm going to use that blender pen and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't have any ink on it. So I always make sure I do it on a piece of scratch paper first because you're going to have some staining, but you definitely want to make sure there's no ink on there so you don't mix it with any of your colors or you get the wrong blend of color on there because that can make things look kind of funky. So I'm just going to come in here and it's already grabbing some of that early espresso from the stamped image, which I definitely wanted. And it's kind of blending that stamped outline into my colors. But just to add some little bit more darker areas of this, I am grabbing some of that crumb cake ink and bringing that up and into the image here. Okay, now I don't want to go too heavy on that because it will start making that paper pill up a little bit. So I don't want to get it too wet with that pen. So if I want a darker color on that tree trunk, I can come back to it after it dries for a few and add more color to it. But don't saturate that with your fluid that's in your pen because it will make it kind of a funky pilling. All right, so with this little squirrel, I do need to grab my scissors and cut him out. I'm going to fussy cut. Yeah, my mom decided that she just needed a little bit of time for a little bit of a vacation. And she headed up to Flagstaff, Arizona. So she's about a little bit over 4 hours up north from us. Just taking in the scenery. There's a lot of pine trees up there. Much, much cooler up there. It's kind of just a neat little town. I believe Route 66 runs up there through that town. If you know who the sister wives are, the Brown family, well, they're not really together anymore. The sister wives aren't. They're not all married to him anymore. But anyways, that's where him and the last wife live, is up in Flagstaff. So I told her, I go, hey, maybe you'll run into him. She goes, maybe I won't. It's okay. Okay, so we're just gonna go like that. So there's my little squirrel. So as you saw, that was not a hard task to cut out. Now we're going to do this little branch here, this little stump. Okay, there's our little stump. Get rid of all this. Okay, this is what we're going to be focusing on right now. And I'm going to grab my old olive ink And again, using my blender pen, making sure that I don't have any ink on that in there. I'm going to flip my old olive over. Now, to get ink over here, what I've done is I've just taken this and I've just squeezed my pad a couple of times, and it puts that ink into the lid of my ink pad. Hello, Mary. Hello, Kimberly. Okay, so I am going to take my ink here, and I'm just going to draw kind of a little ground here. And I'm just using little swirls at the moment. And then I kind of come in and I just kind of add some little grass marks using the tip of my pen. Now, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. I'm actually going to be putting that stump over this. So I like to even just come in and add a little bit of shadowing down here. But we're just kind of giving it the illusion of maybe a ground or some grass or whatever, so it doesn't look like our stump is just floating in midair. Okay, so when we're done with that, we're going to grab our dimensionals, but I need the mini dimensionals this time to put on my stump. So I'm going to add 2 of these. If I can get that off of me. And then I'm just going to place that towards the bottom. And you'll see what I'm talking about as far as me just adding that green underneath that. It was just to give a little bit of dimension so that stump is not just sitting flat on white paper. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our squirrel and we're going to pop our squirrel up. And we'll take one more over here. We're just going to cut a little piece off this corner. Put that right there. And we're going to put our little squirrel like he's standing right on that little stump. Right, like so. Isn't that cute? Ah, love him. Then that little circle that we cut out from our basic beige, we are going to take our sentiment. May you gather happiness. We're going to stamp that right in the center. I should have stamped that first and then cut it out. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to try it. If I can't get it straight, we'll just do it the other way. But there's no, it's not going to hurt anything to try to make it work the first time. So let's grab our May You Gather Happiness. Get up, kind of pop your butt out and be right over the top of that image, and fingers crossed. Woohoo! I did it. Holy moly. I really thought that was going to go wrong, but you know what? I held my breath. And if I hold my breath, it works. Well, that's what I like to tell myself. Hold your breath and it'll work. All right, now we've got our piece of our crumb cake. So what are we going to do with that? We are going to grab, we're going to grab our early espresso and our little acorn. And we're going to stamp the acorn a couple of times here. Now, our punch has a handy dandy little acorn right here, so we can punch this little image out perfectly clean. I don't have to worry about fussy cutting it because I'm not a fan. So what I'm going to do now, come back in with that early espresso. Come in, make sure that pen is cleaned off. Now on just the tops of my acorn, I'm just going to come in here with just a little bit of color. just like that. And see how that ink is coming off of there? I want to make sure I don't put that in my next project, so we'll just clean it a little bit right now. Okay, now with our punch, I can line these up. And I make sure I leave enough space just to make sure I don't cut anything off the side. And I start with my furthest one over to the right, and then I just go along that line. Okay, so this is all garbage here. I still have a little bit of scrap there that I can use for a future project. And there are my acorns, and we need our card base back over here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere that squirrel. Right to those little Cajun crays. Maybe if I can get this to go on here straight. There we go. Now I'm kind of watching my designer series paper to make sure that's straight, because we have these pieces at a slant. It can really mess with your eyes, especially since we've stamped all those little hex marks on there. It really kind of screws with you to try to get that on there straight. So I'm kind of just watching the lines of my designer series paper. And that's why I kind of wanted these 2 points to line up with that, because then it helps me line up that white little banner. But that's just the way it is. All right, then our little May Your Happiness, or May You Gather Happiness is going to go right there, but I think I'm gonna pop that up as the same level. Trying to think if I want it the same level as my squirrel, which is 2 floaters up, 2 elevators. One of you guys told me that a family member of yours calls dimensionals elevators. I think I want it down like that. I think that'll work. So I am just going to put glue just on the one side because it's going to stick. Sorry, you guys. There we go. And his nose fits perfectly in the U at the end and the R at the end of gather. So that fits perfectly there. We're going to take one of our little acorns and place it on the back down here on that card base. So this is still floating up 1 elevator from the card base, and then our squirrel is 2 up because we've got this already 1, and then this is another one, just so you see that depth in there. Maybe if I hold it like this, maybe you guys can kind of see the different levels of this card. Okay, then I'm going to take a little dimensional and put on the back of this little acorn here. And this is going to go right on the corner of that banner. And then the next one is going to get adhered down here. Just like that. And there is our super cute first little card here. Where did I put those? I was gonna say, I just showed you guys those, oh, there they are. The little Cajun craze and gold dots. I think those would be really nice on this card because we've got this Cajun craze and these have got these little gold flakes in them. If we can find our take your pick tool, there it is. Okay, so let's come in here, grab this, Gonna do one there. We're gonna do a small, medium, and large. Let's do our medium up there. Let's go all the way up here and grab a small. Come here, little guy. Oh, come on. We're gonna put that one right there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's do an end to this card, inside to this card, and get moving along here. Okay, so let's grab an inside. I'm also going to be using that same plaid paper, the Timeless Plaid, and we're just going to cut that down at a 1/2 inch here. And I think I'm going to actually run this going straight down like that. Okay. Trim those 2 pieces off, and then we are going to put this in the inside. Now let's see what our different sentiments are here. We have go nuts, it's your birthday. So I love that this set is not just about fall, Thanksgiving, whatever. It is about birthday also. Can't wait to see you again. May you gather happiness. So I think I'm going to leave the inside of this without a sentiment. And if this card needs to go to anybody, then I will know what I'm giving it for to be able to put that sentiment that I want inside of there. So there's that. But I am going to come over here and grab that early espresso and stamp a couple of little acorns in here, just like that. Now I can use this, and because I already have some of that ink that's wet from just stamping that, I can pull some of that brown right into that stamped image to just add just a light little hint of the tops of those acorns. So that's all I'm going to do in the inside of that card. And there is card number 1. Okay, card number 2. This is going to be the wow card. Just saying. This card, we are going to have lots of different things going on here. So let me get some of this craziness out of the way. We are going to start with a card base of crumb cake, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Still haven't found that bone folder, so we're just going to use our block, give it a good crease like that. Now this card is going to be a landscape card. And what we're going to do with this card is we are going to use our little birthday gift. So this is going to be a birthday card, and we've got the little birthday package right here. We're going to use crumb cake, so tone on tone for this one. So if you're just coming in and viewing me, please like and subscribe if you're watching here on YouTube. Please follow me if you're over on YouTube or Facebook catching this. Then you won't miss any of these fun crafting classes that I do every week. Try to do every week. Sometimes other things happen, but for the most part, I'm on here every week. So knowing that I'm going to place something in the center, that's why I'm kind of staying around the outside of this card base. Okay, I think we need something right there. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. So now we've got all of our little packages all around our card base. I'm then going to take a piece of our, now this is from, and let me grab it here. This is from the paper, maybe if I can find it, it's under the stack here. This is from our Gathering Together. Now this is a wonderful set as well. So let me pull this paper out. If I don't lose everything first. Let me move this. Let's make sure we don't stick that in any of those inked up. Okay, this is just gonna go over here. So we've got, now this is a specialty paper because once you see me flip that over, look at the gold foiling that are in those leaves. Hopefully you can catch that on camera, that beautiful gold foiling, kind of the ribs of the leaves. Okay, so there's the first one. The second one has, again, that gold foiling in that olive green, and the back side looks like this brown wood. More leaves. This is more of the browns with that Cajun craze and some basic beige. The back has a basic beige. Now this is the one that I am using right now, so it's a little bit cut up. Let me kind of flip this over just so you can see it. Now I will be using both sides of this. So this has got these stripes, almost like a plaid look to it, with a crushed curry line through it. Beautiful paper. The back side is this gorgeous brown, and you can see that it's got almost got like these little circles in it, little bubbly look to it. And then this one here, you've got, again, the plaid, but it's a little bit brighter, a little bit more in your face with the Cajun craze and that stripe of crushed curry. And then the other side has your gold foiling with the basic beige. And then this one is the other paper that I'm using for this card, or for the next card. So that's why it's cut up. But your background is basic beige, so it's not just sitting on white, which I really liked with that foiling. And then the other side, I'm going to be using this as well. It's kind of like, just like a birch wood. So that is called the Gathering Together. Now I also, when I purchased this, let me put these scraps away really quick so I don't wind up losing all of these scraps. I don't need to put the big pieces away, but the little pieces will get shuffled throughout and I will lose it. Now, I did purchase the Whole Sweet collection for this. So the Gathering Together is a new one. Now this is going to be a part of the online exclusives. This is the stamp set. This is red rubber. So again, we're still going to see some of that red rubber as we phase out of it. Many thanks. Your friendship means the world to me. Thankful for you. Expressing heartfelt gratitude. And then we have the big word gather there. Some fabulous leaves down here. Now wait till you see these dies. I am a sucker for leaves. So look at these leaves that they are going to provide in this. Now, their samples that they have showed of this set are eye-opening. You can actually take, this set also comes with 2 of our linen threads. It comes with an early espresso and old olive. These are perfectly spaced that you can thread this through to give you that vein of your leaves. And it makes the most amazing looks to your cards. Both leaves have those little dots in there that you can weave your, almost like you're embroidering. I know that word is hard for me. You can embroider your stitching on your leaves. So really, really neat. Love how they have done that. I have not tried it yet, but it is probably one of those things that will be in the work. So you've got some really neat background pieces here and a huge embossing folder here. This is called the Gathering Leaves. So as you saw on this one paper, that's paper right here, the Cajun Craze. See how you've got all those little tiny leaves on there? That's the same effect that you're going to get from this embossing folder. Just so you can see that. You can probably see it better here. Let me turn it this way. Got all those little leaves. So that is a set that is coming. Again, I bought the full, hold on a second, because I'm not sure if those, actually, these right here go with this set. Those were the Cajun Craze and Gold Dots. Those went with this set, not with the Toile set. Okay, so there's that. So remember, that's going to be found in our online exclusives starting September 3rd. Back to what I was showing. Okay, so this is where I was saying we're going to bring this paper in. The back side is that brown. This piece here is going to measure 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. Our next piece that we need is the same paper, but I'm using the flip side, the back side of it. This is 4 by 3 1/2. We have a piece of clear window sheet. Now I need to cut this down. I kind of just threw a piece in there. So I want this to be roughly about the same size as this. So what did I say this was? I said this was 4 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to go to 3 7/8. 3 7/8 by, what did we say here? So I'm going to go 3 and, was that 3 1/2? Yeah, 3 1/2. So I'm going to go to 3 3/8. Okay. So there's my window sheet. So it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than that. I also have some scraps sitting over here. I need a scrap of the crumb cake, a scrap of Cajun Craze, crushed curry. Gee, we have crumb cake, Cajun Craze, and crushed curry. And then you wonder why I screwed that one up. Then we have gold, okay? Some gold foiling going on. So we're going to set that aside. We've got, you only need 1 scrap of white, but I put 2 of them in here because I just already had that cut apart. So we also need a scrap of old olive as well. All right, so let's go ahead. And then you're going to need some kind of shaker bits. So these I just had in my drawer. We don't sell these anymore. These are retired, but these are called the Champagne Iridescent Dots. So if you have those, you can use those. The loose frosted dots are still available, I believe. Let me look really quick. You're also going to need our, these are called the foam adhesive strips, or something relatively close to that. Loose. Okay, let me look this up really quick. So yes, these are available. Or you could use the loose gold sequence, which I do not have, but they would work as well. I'm going to go ahead and use the loose frosted dots, but I will show you the other card that I made using the Champagne Iridescent Dots. But for now, let's go ahead and get this on the boogie. So I'm going to come back in using the Stylish Shapes. Now on my last card, I did use the biggest circle. I think on this one, I think I'm gonna go down 1, to be honest with you. I think it was overkill for the big like I said, I'll show you that other card that has the big circle. So I'm using the second from largest on this card. So I'm just going to kind of place that kind of in the middle-ish of this, and I'm just going to take a couple of pieces. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring it. I'm not doing all that. Put a couple pieces of my movable tape here and just laying that on there, and gonna run that through because again, I told you I'm going to try to do all of the cutting today with the mini. Okay, you can put that circle in with your scraps because you may want to use that circle for another project down the road. I would not throw that away. I would definitely hang on to that. So this is basically our front layer of our card. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to take our window sheet and we are going to adhere that right to our front layer. Just like so. And then stick this on here and we're gonna let that kind of just seal itself as we move along doing other stuff. Okay, so we're gonna let that kind of sit there and dry. What we need to do now is we are going to get some of that glue off of there since I got a little overzealous with the glue. Okay, that will dry. Then I'm going to grab both of my pieces of my white. Like I said, you don't need two pieces. You can only use one. I'm going to, this bow wants to stick to everything. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to stamp the first of my two squirrels. So this is the one. This is the one that does not go with the punch. And then we're gonna do him in Cajun Craze. And just lining that up again. Give that a moment to kind of marinate into that paper. Just like so. Okay, I need to grab, where's it at? Oh, there it is. I'm going to clean off both of these stamps. And I'm going to grab the other squirrel. I just need these blocks because they're big enough that they fit the squirrels on there. Okay. I will also say that I do find that the longevity of the photopolymer seem to be longer than red rubber. Now, maybe that's because I live in a very warm state and maybe Arizona heat just doesn't do well with the red rubber, but I'm just telling you guys that the photopolymer seems to just do a little bit better here in the desert heat. Sometimes my red rubber, ooh, there's like a little thing stuck in this pad and it is going to drive me bonkers. The red rubber on some of my, and we're talking they're pretty old. So I don't know how long you guys hang on to your stamp sets for, but I have some that are pretty old. And some of that red rubber has started to like separate from the foam on the back. Whether that's heat related, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I just know these ones, they don't have anything to separate from. Here we go. We're using pecan pie on this one. And commit. Okay, there's both my squirrels. Now, this squirrel, we can grab our punch and he will line right up, she will line right up inside of our punch, like so. Okay, there's that one. This one, we're going to need to fussy cut. So yesterday, as Andre was driving home after he got all of our stuff packed up, what little bit he had to bring home with him from Comic-Con, and he's driving home, and I look out my Arizona room, and I'm standing out on the patio area, and I can see this big dust storm coming across. Well, they're called haboobs or habibs, or I don't know how you actually say it, but it is a big dust storm that comes through in the desert. And I call him and I go, oh my gosh, I go, are you able to drive? Because it's awfully heavy, thick coming through there. And he goes, what? And so he looks up towards our house because I can see, like, it's quite a few miles down. It's probably about, I would say probably about 5 miles down from where we are on the top of the hill, that I can look down into the valley and I can see the road that he's driving on. Now, it's too far away that I can't see his car, but I know that that's where he's at and he's driving home down that highway. And as I look up over here, I see this dirt, this big, huge billowing cloud of dirt, because I start losing the mountain range. Like, it starts just becoming so thick with dirt that I can't see the mountain range back over to the east of us, or northeast. And so I ask him, I go, so can you see the haboob that's coming across? And so he is driving, and he's driving west. We live south as he's driving west. And so he looks up towards our house, and he can see that in between where he's at on this road and in between where our house is nothing but this cloud of dirt moving across. And he said, he goes, it's literally racing me. He said, he goes, it's crazy. I'm driving 65 miles an hour and this cloud is pacing him, but actually moving a little bit faster than him. So he's like going, oh my Lord, this thing is trucking. So I told him, I go, okay, well, when you get to the road, because like, as he's coming along, he's got to turn up the road and come up the hill, and this cloud is coming across. And I go, just be careful once you turn up that road that you don't get caught in that cloud, because visibility, it's almost like being in a snowstorm. Like you can't, a blizzard, but it's a blizzard of dirt. And so I was telling him, I go, just go slow so you don't get stuck behind that and it, you know, trap you. And you have to pull over and stop because that's what you have to do. And so luckily he made it home before it got all the way that way in front of him. But he said, he goes, it's so weird because from up here, it looks like it's covering that road. But from where he's at, he's on the other side of this dirt pocket and he sees it moving across. So it was just really weird as we're both talking about it and he's telling me where he's at versus where it's at. It was kind of wild. So now we're going to take our adhesive foam strips and you can cut these down how you need them, but I'm pretty much going to manipulate this around my clear window sheet, staying about a couple of centimeters away from where I die cut that circle. So I'm just going to kind of just walk this around because I don't want to see that from the front side. So if I look, I mean, I would have to really hold that to be able to see that from where that is. And just walk that around. I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to cut it because I know I'm not going to need this whole thing. Cut that. I'm going to make sure I bump this. I'm going to actually push these two ends together because they're foam. They're going to kind of seal together because I don't want any of my little shaker bits to be able to get out of there. So now I'm just going to keep walking this around and it's going to stick. And if my measurements were, and I didn't even measure, I'm just going to now push those two pieces together. Voila, perfect. Okay. All right, so then move those out of the way. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. Now what I need to do is I need to take my old olive, my Cajun craze, my crushed curry, and I need to stamp, again, that little package, but we need to clean it off because we had we had crumb cake on there. We need to clean that off because we're going to use our Memento Black. Oh, no, where is Memento? Oh, underneath my... Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to stamp 1, 2, 3 times a lady. And then we're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now for the sake of time, you guys don't want to sit here and watch me fussy cut all 9 of these. I have already pre-cut them for us because I love you all, that I'm not going to make you guys, I'm not going to torture you today. So I have all 9 of my little packages here, 3 of each color. I'm going to actually take those and I'm going to flip it. Let me move that out of the way. I'm going to flip them face down because I want to see them through the front of my little package here. I mean, my little window. So I'm going to face those all down just like so. Oops, come here. Okay, like that. I'm not going to mess with them any more than that. I'm just going to leave them there. Now I'm going to come in here with my loose frosted dots, if I can get this open. And I'm just going to pour some of these out because I only want the yellow ones. I'm just going, oops. What color is that? That was not yellow. I mean, you could really use all the colors, I guess, but... And these are kind of neat. They kind of have like an iridescent look to them. And some people might think, gee, what a pain in the butt to separate those. But as you can see, it's really not that time consuming. They're not super tiny, so but I do want to put quite a few of them in there because since we've got those little packages in there, now on the larger ones of these, I will come in and I will flip those where their rounded part is facing the window sheet, because I don't think they would be able to flip once I put the back on this. The little ones will be able to move around, but those big ones, I'm going to make sure I flip those over. Now, is that time consuming? Yeah, but you know what? I think it definitely adds what I need to this card, so I'll just do it. Let me grab just a few more out of here. And you can add as much or as little as you want. And your packages are going to move around, and that's good. Let's just do a few more here. Oops, look, I got a green one, and it does not belong. We'll just do a few more here. I guess your take your pick tool works pretty good. I should have already had these separated for you guys, sorry. But you're seeing the process, and it's kind of a thing to see. Okay, we've got a couple that flipped over here. All right, I'm gonna call that good. So let's pick these up, slide this way. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to pull the backing off of our adhesive strips. And I'm also going to take some of my big dimensionals and I'm just going to place them in the four corners, just like that. Pull the backings off of those. Now with the brown part facing down, I'm going to put this right on the back of this circle, sealing that all in, and then I'm going to make sure I really give that a good seal and push onto that strip, because we don't want anything coming out of there. So we really want to make sure that's got a good adhesion. And then watch this magic. Voila! Isn't that so cool? And with those colors of those little packages in there, I mean, you definitely know this is a birthday card. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that so fun? Oh, who wouldn't love receiving this for their birthday, right? Okay, now we're going to take our base and we are going to adhere the back of this to the front of our card. So if you know anybody who has a fall birthday, this is going to be the card that you need to make for them. Especially if it's kiddos or elderly people. They love a super interactive little card. Isn't that fabulous? Oh, love it. Okay, we're not done though. We're gonna take our two little fun squirrels here. We're gonna add them right like so, but we're gonna pop them up. Again, using our dimensionals, we're just gonna give them a little bit of oomph. Okay, same with this one. Okay, we're gonna take this little guy and we're gonna set him right there. And then this one, we're gonna put him right like so. Okay, so our two little squirrels are now looking at each other. Now with our little gold foil, we're gonna take our Stays On ink and we need to clean off our package. Now, remember when we use Stays On ink. Stays On ink is one of those inks that we can use on a non-porous surface and it will not smudge on us. Because if I was to try to take my Memento ink and stamp on this, it's going to smear and smudge. So when I use my Stays On is a little bit sticky. So when you go to stamp this, you're going to be quick about it. You're going to go down and then up. Okay, just like that. We don't need to hang out. We don't need to wait for that to marinate into that because it's not going to marinate. It's a shiny surface. You could also use this and you can stamp on your window sheets if you wanted to. And you don't have to worry about it smearing because it's going to dry onto that surface. So now with this, I am going to take and I'm going to cut out this little package just like I would have done with my little yellow and Cajun Craze packages. So now I'm going to just cut that little package out just like so. I'm going to put a little dimensional on the back of that. And I'm going to set that right in between their little hands, like one is giving, helps if I take the backing off because it's not going to stick to anything with the backing on there. And he is receiving a gold package. Voila! Isn't that fun? Oh, I love it. Okay, but we still have a little bit more to do to this. I am going to stamp on my crumb cake piece here. I'm going to use the Go Nuts. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. I'm going to take that, I'm going to ink that up, and we're going to stamp, okay? Just like so. Now you can give it a couple of seconds to marinate, get a nice crisp image there. Let's move our card. Now we're going to come back in with our stylish shapes, and I'm going to use this bigger banner here. And we are going to line this up using our movable tape, and I'm just going to place that like so. And I'm going to do another one down here just for good measures. And we are going to cut this. Now, as you can see, I have lined up the sentiment towards the left side of that banner. I did that purposefully because we are going to narrow or take the length and shorten it a little bit with this technique that I'm going to share with you guys. So, whoops, let's move that in just a little bit. Okay, so now having it lined up there, I already have the end off a little bit. That's okay, because I'm going to show you how we're going to make this be the perfect size we need it. So now, get rid of that. We don't need that. Now, we want this little banner piece to be up here by this exclamation point. So now I'm going to take this, move it where I want it. We've got all these little tick marks on the inside. They're going to line up to the tick marks that are in this banner. So we can place it right where we want it. I'm going to push that down. Again, put some of the tape. It's already lined up because it fit already in these little tick marks that I have. So it's already in a little channel. Then I'm just going to cut that just like so. And now I have a customized shape. So I'm left with this little arrow. You can keep that. Those are kind of fun to put on scrapbook pages. If you do a bunch of these little things going across the bottom of a scrapbook page, they're really kind of fun. Just saying. So there is my customized size little banner that I need for this project. So now I'm going to take that, and it is going to go right up here in this top corner like so. And what I need to do on this one side is I need to take a little half piece of my dimensional and just pop that right there. And then I'm going to put glue on this side. And place that right towards the side of this card, making sure I don't make it too long because we don't want it hanging off and not fitting in an envelope. And there is our super adorable shaky card. Do you love this or what? And it's a birthday card at that. It's not even like, it's fall themed, but it's not for a fall gathering as far as, you know, Thanksgiving, Harvest Festival, something like that. This is for a birthday. Fantastic, right? Okay, so let's figure out what we're gonna do in the inside. I think we already have that paper sitting here. So let's grab just a strip of that. Maybe we have that paper sitting here. Where did I put it? Okay. So I'm going to actually use, I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch, and we need this by 5 1/4. Ugh, I have no fingernails, so I can't pick up anything. All my nails have just crumpled apart. It's horrible. And I even take nail and hair vitamins, but I don't think it's helping. So then with this little brown side showing, so it just grabs some more of the detail from the under of our little circle in our shaker bit. We're going to place that right inside of there. But again, coming in, I'm gonna grab my little package, and we're going to clean that because I don't want black this time. Now remember, with Stays On, you're gonna need to use a Stays On cleaner to get that off of there, but it's not hurting anything, so I don't find that it's necessary to have to scrub it clear. I don't care. Oops, and look at me. I just grabbed that. So I actually wanted to grab my Old Olive crumb cake and my crushed curry. I'm just going to take this, just stamp that there. And there. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do those 3 because again, I want to kind of bring the outside. Ugh, did you guys see me just stick my finger in that pad? Ugh, look at that, I have a red thumb. And of course, I couldn't have done it in the yellow, right? Where it wouldn't have been as noticeable. Like I've been sticking my finger in the red Kool-Aid. Remember as a kid, you'd put sugar in your Kool-Aid and then stick your fingers in it and eat it? Well, maybe I was the only weirdo that did that. I remember Tang. Tang was like the thing back in the day. You would take a little baggie of Tang to school with you and your tongue would be like on fire because you'd be licking Tang. Memories, I tell you. There is our fantastic little shaker card. Go nuts, it's your birthday. Woohoo. All right, card number 2 is done. Let me show you, while I've got these here, see the difference? I used the big circle on this one, and I almost think it takes too much to try to fill it. You can barely see the shaker bits when they fall to the bottom, but those are using the champagne iridescent dots in that one, which are really pretty also, but I just don't like how big that circle is. You can do it how you want it, but I definitely like the size of this. You can see more of the packages in there. The packages kind of get lost behind the squirrels with the bigger one, but again, it's all about personal preference, what you like. But again, I think it's still a super cute card. I'm not going to hate it. So there is our shaker card. Okay, let's get to our last card. Another fun, interactable card that you guys are gonna fall in love with. Let me grab my card base here. So, we get all the pieces. Now we've got a lot of little interactable pieces with this. So this card is 8.5, but we have scored it at 2 1/8 on each side. So 2 1/8, 2 1/8. So when you put this in your paper trimmer, you're gonna line it up 2 1/8, score it, flip it around, and do 2 1/8 on that end. Just so you see how I'm doing that. Then when we push our pieces together, we're going to push them together as you're putting this down, because you're really going to want to make sure those 2 ends touch before you score them. So you hold them while they're together and take your finger and really push that crease down while those pieces are lined up, because it will shift like it's already doing on me. Because no matter how tight you try to get that score line, it's going to need to be pressed and manipulated down. Okay, there we go. Now our ends are as tight as they need to be. Again, can't find the bone folder still. So we're gonna go like this. Okay, now we've got a couple of pieces that we're going to bring in here. I have 2 pieces of crushed curry. Now these are 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. They're both the same. I have a couple of pieces of that designer series paper from the Gather Together, right? Yeah, that was the one that I just showed you, the Gather Together. Yep. These are online exclusive. These are going to be 3 3/4, and you will find all the dimensions over on my blog tomorrow morning. And this is 2 1/4. So we've got this side and this side. So you can kind of decide which one you like on there. I like the mushrooms being shown on this. You can see the foiling a little bit better over here, but I'm going to stick with this piece here. That's going to go on that one, and then I'm just going to flip that over, and then that birch wood is going to be on that side. Then I've got some more pieces here, but these are for the inside. So I'm just going to set those over here because I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But for here, we also have we need a scrap of white. And I need some scrap of our crumb cake. I knew I was going to have lots of scraps left over, so I decided that I didn't necessarily need to pull out anything else. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this one on this crushed curry, like so. And then this one is going to go on this crushed curry. Okay. With this, we're going to come in with our blender pen again. I'm going to grab that old olive again. And this time I'm going to grab my black. And I'm going to stamp our tree trunk. So I want to clean this because it's got brown on it at the moment. Okay, so using black. I'm going to stamp this right over here towards the edge. Okay, perfect. I then need to I have a little flower that is in here as well. And we will stamp that in just a minute because I'm going to add some color to this first. So again, using that blender, come in here with my old olive and, oops, clean it off. Grab some of that ink and then again, just come in here and adding some color around the base of this stump. And beyond. Okay, call that good. Again, giving it more of that ground look. I'm going to come in with my pumpkin pie. This is pecan pie. And I'm going to use pecan this time to color in my stump here. Making it almost look like a red wood, maybe like a cedar maybe. And if you want to get real like detailed, you can use a couple of different colors, which I think I might come in with just a little bit of crumb cake, just to give it a little bit more of that brown depth to it. Especially down here towards the ground. Okay, just like that. So as you can see, that has brought in a little bit more depth and color to that. Okay, I can put that away now. Move that over there. Now I've got a whole tower falling of ink pads. I need to grab that squirrel. Now we are using the squirrel that the punch is going to allow us to punch. I need to clean this one because I'm going to be using that Cajun Craze again for this one. And I need my black again for the outline. Let's see if this paper is going to fit. Perfect. I'm gonna actually flip that around. Yep. Yepers. Okay. We need Cajun. And I am stamping him in Cajun Craze. So just like so. Give that a couple seconds to marinate there. And then pull that off of there. Now, I have my piece of... where did I put my black? There it is. And I'm going to use pecan this time. So coming back in with my little acorn. One, two, three. Three is the magic number. And pecan, and my blender pen. You could use your Stampin' Up pens, but this is achieving all the colors that I need with one pen. So I'm trying to show you some ways of being cost sufficient and some tips and tricks that you can color things. You can color on your cardstock. And you can do a lot of coloring with just one pen. You guys have seen me color everything today. I have not brought out any of my Stampin' Blends pens to color anything. I have used ink pads and one pen. So just so you're aware and you're not like, what is she doing? Well, yeah, because I want to show you that crafting doesn't have to be super, super expensive, and you don't need to have all the things to make some great cards. I mean, we all want all the things, but you don't have to have them. All right, again, coming in with the punch, I'm just going to punch my acorns. See if I can hold this in here. Kind of went too far to the edge with this one. Once I can pinch it in there, then I can get my fingers out of the way, because you definitely don't want to get your fingers pinched in one of these punches. Oh my Lord, have I done that. I got my finger pinched up in the top. Holy Hannah. Whoo! Talk about saying some pretty naughty words. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I was like that, and I got my finger caught in there. I was not paying attention. Okay, there's everything we need. And then we need our little flower, so we're gonna set that right there. So let's get to putting this card together. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to take my top layer and it is going to get adhered just to the left-hand flap. So I'm gonna hold that knowing that this is the center. I'm gonna put my finger there and make sure I only put glue on that one side. Okay, now when I put that down, it's only going to be stuck to the left flap. Okay, so I just need to push like so. Now this one is just going to get adhered to the right flap. Okay, so see how that is only on the left flap? Now you've got a right flap. This is going to get adhered down here at the bottom, but we're going to make sure we hold this closed because we want to make sure everything is uniform and everything is lined up correctly. So again, I can see it kind of goes right to the edge of that stump. Give that a good push. Make sure that's all adhered down. And then we've got both these little flaps. So see, when we open that, you'll see part of the crushed curry over here and part of that crushed curry there. Then when they close, you want to close them in unison so they go together. Because otherwise, if you go to close like that, you're not going to get, or like that, it's going to be goofy. So you want to close them together. So what we're going to do with our little squirrel here, before we get him put on, I'm going to come in here with a couple of these little flowers. And I'm just going to stamp them. And I'm going to wipe off the little bottom part, because I just want that as if it's coming out of the top of that. And then again, let me clean that off. Just that top portion of that flower to come right up over here. And then another one poking up right there. And that's, well, maybe one more. I think we need one more. Maybe right like so. Okay, perfect. Don't want to go too crazy, but we need to have an odd number of them so it is appeasing. All right, now we're going to take our squirrel and we're going to add some dimensionals. Again, we're going to be dimensional haven. You're going to have these little backings everywhere once you're done with these cards. And we're going to put our squirrel right in front of our cute little stump there. I'm going to take one of my acorns, put a mini dimensional on it, and he is going to hold that one in his hand, just like so. And yeah, it's going to be overlapping your flower, and that's fine. The flowers are just to give a little bit of more of that natural look. Okay, grab your acorns, and we're going to place one right like so, and the other one kind of just like that. And he is going to take this one and stack it right on top of there, and he is stacking his food for winter, so we'll say. All right, so that is what the outside of our card is going to look like. You could add a sentiment here if you wanted to. I didn't. I just left it alone. So now when we open up our card, you typically would not get an any for your backing here. I am going to place. Now these are 2 cut at 2. Ooh, we have a friend, a little moth friend that just decided to photobomb. And then we have 5 3/8. So there is just a tiny little edging that you're going to see of the brown, or the early espresso. So I'm thinking we might be taking the RV up when we go to Vegas for backstage this year. It is being done at the Red Rock Resort up in Vegas in November, and it just happens to be the first day of the event. The backstage event for Stampin' Up happens to be on my birthday. So wouldn't that be kind of fun to go up there on my birthday? And you could decide, you could have flipped that over and you could have used the other side. I just love these leaves, so that's why I decided to do that. So I'm going to use the other side of this, and I'm going to put that on my white piece. Now this white piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's going to be only 1/8 of an inch smaller from that. Okay, so we could actually put in our stamp right here. It says, "Can't wait to see you again." And that's what I'm going to do. So before I adhere that down, I'm going to grab my black here. And we're going to say, "Can't wait to see you again." No, we're not going to do that. Like that. We're going to take a couple of our little flowers. I'm going to put those as if they are sprouting out of our paper down here, just like so. Are we still live on Facebook? Did I lose you guys? I hope not. Oh, nope, it says I'm still live. Sweet. All right, so there is our last super cute. Isn't that so much fun? I love it. I just thought that was kind of a neat little idea. It really gets your paper seen, and it really shows off your little squirrel here. Where did I put those? Oh my goodness. I swear I misplaced. I'd misplaced my brain if it wasn't attached to my skull. So I think, should we put some of these on there? I don't know. They might get lost. No, I'm not going to add any of those. I don't think it needs that. Okay, so let me bring in these 3 cards. Again, this is our kit for the week. So just know that when you place an order with me this week, you will get this fun card kit in the mail. So let me do that. Again, since I can't find my bone folder, there is our super cute cards using our Fluffy Squirrel. Now again, this will be available to you guys to purchase September 3rd. Oops, I feel like I'm out of frame for some reason. And you guys are going to have a blast with this super cute little set. Again, you can use it for birthday. May you gather happiness. Can't wait to see you again. So just some really cute little images here that you could have a lot of fun with creating some really adorable cards. I can't wait to see what people come up with using this. But this is just what I've come up with to share with you guys, to give you a little bit of inspiration if you want to purchase this, or you've been looking at this set and you just want to go nuts with it. All right, you guys, have a fantastic rest of your week. Don't forget, if you did not get a catalog from me and you have been a current customer, please reach out to me. Let me know that you never got your catalog. And if you did get your catalog, what are you guys loving that's in it? What is your favorite set in there? And don't forget, I will be posting the online exclusives PDF. I will probably have that up by tomorrow morning, so you guys can print that PDF off and then pick out what else you want to add to your list of items that you've already picked from your catalog. If you're new to watching me, like, follow, subscribe. I love having you guys all here with me, all things crafty. Then you will know that, especially when you subscribe, it will let you know notifications that I am live here on YouTube. Same with Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. And you guys have a fabulous week. All right, you guys, I will see you soon. Bye.